Welcome everyone to another round of Planet Nomads. We are of course back with my space station design, and I have increased my stacks of large air blades to 11 total. I believe it should be. Yes, 11 total on each stack. So that's 88 large air blades total. And while it had enough power to actually keep them all running with the previously done generator setup, it was very, very close on running out of power. So instead of relying on that, I decided to make some upgrades so I'd have more power. And that meant either I put one more generator of each type, one more deuterium, one more uranium, and have to reconfigure a bunch of stuff, or I simply reconfigure one side to be deuterium instead. So I swapped all the uranium generators out for deuterium, which just by doing that, because of the difference, 5,000 power uranium generator, 8,000 power for deuterium generator, I gained 12,000 power in output without having to add actually any additional generators to the list. It's the same number, it's just all deuterium now. And you see, just sitting here now with everything turned off and the amount of deuterium in there, 1,385 hours. Is actually still well above 100 hours, even with the air blades turned on. And that's what we're gonna do. I've made a couple of save copies. I made sure I have a backup of this because I don't want to end up getting stuck somewhere where it makes it hard to work on this coming back. And I just got to find the switch. There it is. I want to put that, well, once this is in the air and fully functional, you're not gonna want to drop it down anyway. It's gonna be meant to stay afloat. So with all air blades on, just sitting here, 148 hours of power still left. And you see how much more it dropped down just by swapping to deuterium. It really just makes more sense. You know, if this is meant to stay afloat, be pretty much going everywhere, and you're going to find water everywhere. Just dig deep enough, there will be some water there. And so it's really a better option on that. The autonomous water purifiers are already set to just keep going and going in terms of production, so it's not going to be a problem. I can't even tell. Am I actually lifting up? I mean, I have 88 air blades. I don't think I'm lifting at all. Oh, there we go. I think it got like maybe a little bit. Or is that as high as I can go? Yeah, I'm holding down spacebar and I'm not going any higher. It's like tapped out. But you see, it's not a fast design. It's not meant to be fast, but it does at least move. And somewhere I've got something acting weird because I am spinning in a certain direction. And that's the height. That's as high as it is getting right now, away from sea level. So with the change to deuterium, one of the things that I added recently to accommodate for production needs like water, or just connecting into a base, something like that, anything of that sort that you might have that you want to do, I added, of course, the connector here and a power switch inside just for utility stuff. So what we would do is you go here, you'd be like, all right, I'm going to connect that below water pump, go here, turn it on. Of course, it's not getting any water because we got to go fly. And I cannot see anything well enough. So the fact that I still have those little struts helps, but I don't want it to be like that. So we're going to need some kind of piloting seat on the lower level too, so you can use that to make sure you get things dropped in. Like, since we can't zoom out that far really on this, that's going to help. And I'm still leaning. That's the problem. That's deeper than these struts are going. That's why it's leaning. But it is producing. Again, this is a save. I've backed up so I can restore back to the other point and not worry about this. But yeah, it's going, it's producing 540 an hour. So if you were in desperate need, you could sit there, let that run and be fine. And then let's get up, oh, well, wrong side, can't see it, but we have still have to finish that. But for autonomous water purifiers here. So even if you just used a separate design, went there, collected stacks of water, brought it back, you'd have these already set, and I've got them set to that much. 999,999 purified water in queue already for them on each one. So that is basically, you know, 3,999,996 water that is set in motion, ready to produce, assuming you have enough dirty water for it. So I think you'll be good for a while in terms of deuterium power, as long as you stop to get some water every now and then. Okay, so once again, I've made a save and then made a backup save, and I have added another air blade on each column. So this is 96 air blades, and it's now to the point it was so difficult placing a few of these that I had to actually sit there and basically just tap until it turned green and then sit and wait for me to stop moving. And a couple of times it would move, even in that, just tapping far enough because of it reading like a longer press, I guess, from the lag, that it would move out of place. And a couple of these actually placed where they were showing attached, but at the same time showing as they were not attached. It's just the lag is really getting to be super problematic. But there's 96 of them, and I have added an extra little bit to the front here, which you'll see. I've added a secondary cockpit down below, specifically not so much for normal flight, but for flying and trying to do the whole, I'm going to go out here and dock it with something, or I'm going to try and lower myself far enough to get some water, you know, with a water pump right here on the utility thing. So I just did that to make it a little bit easier to target, hopefully. So I was at 56.9 meters high last time, and now I'm at 57.3 meters of height. And that's as high as this will go. So I gained 0.4 meters in maximum flying height by adding 8 air blades. Okay, I now have 6 more air blades total, 3 on each side on the lower ones. And just to point out how bad the lag is getting, when I was configuring the direction for steering and so forth, some cases I'd click and I'd hear immediately that little bling sound. And other times I click and keep flying and be able to start working on the next one. Then suddenly, bling, about that much time would pass. So there's cases where it's delaying almost 10 seconds before it even makes the sound. So I'm hoping this makes a big difference. I don't remember what the height was at the other spot. And all the air blades are on. I can't tell if it's just ignoring my controls or if it actually is no longer trying to lift. Can I even turn? What happened? I added more air blades to something that was working previously. I don't get how adding more lift is causing it to not lift. So now I've turned off the top air blades on each stack, and I'm still not lifting up at all. And now I've turned off the additional air blades I made on the lower level, and I'm actually lifting up, you know, 0.2 meters in height, because I did turn off the top ones on each stack. So despite the fact the lower air blades are rotated correctly, they're thrusting downwards, they have power, they're not letting me actually lift off anymore if I have them turned on. Let's see what happens if I turn them back. Well, I'm going to turn on the top ones. I did take this out because this is, again, just testing. I want to turn these on and then get my maximum height with this, and then we'll turn the side ones on and see what happens with that. And now it's doing the same thing. I've turned on the additional air blades that earlier had me going up to 57.3 meters in height. And of course I did add a little bit of weight with the other ones, but it's not lifting. I didn't move up at all. Okay, and now suddenly I'm moving upwards when I turn the lower side air blades on. and noticeably higher this time. That made a much greater difference, either because they are placed lower or just because I hit a, say, like a tipping point, think like a bell curve kind of thing. You kind of hit a plateau where it's like it goes up rapidly and then levels off, and you get diminishing returns after that. And look, I'm actually continuing to go up higher and higher. Maybe it's just a weird bug, because that's not just a tiny increase. That's like continuing to go up and up and up. It's nice, but it's very confusing why I wasn't doing this earlier. And I added 8 for a small increase. You know, 8 air blades, just 0.4 meters is all it let me go higher. And now I add 6 more that originally did not let me go up at all. Now it's going way up. No problems. All right, here comes the fun. This is gonna make it probably go lopsided a little bit. Very, very tiny bit while I turn this off. All right. Okay, it did kind of make me walk a little angled for a second. Am I drooping? Is it falling down? Is it slowly sagging back to the ground? I need to know. Or is it really just a bug that it was not letting me go higher, and then, you know, for some reason it started working suddenly? Is it not recognizing my spacebar presses because of the lag that it's having? Okay, I can't go any higher now. And that's with 12 on each stack. So that's 96 air blades in use. And I cannot go any higher. I can turn, I can't go up any higher. And now, once again, I've turned the top air blades off on each side. So I actually dropped just a little bit. Not much, just a little bit. Let's try lowering. Yep, okay, it lets me lower. But wait, nope, it's going back up. So it is with 11 on each stack, 88 air blades. It's lifting up. It's not lifting as high as it did, but it is lifting up still to this point. It's able to go back up to 146 meters in height, even though earlier it couldn't even get that initial thrust to get high enough. And there it is, the flying fortress of solitude. Space Station of Doom. Whatever you want to call it. But it's there, it's flying. And yeah, I'm thinking based on these results, I'm going to do a test where I migrate some of the towered air blades down to the lower levels. Doing, like, there's 3 there. I think I might be able to squeeze. No, that's going to be a tight fit. But I might be able to get 3 on each side on the lower level. And I may be able to get, depending on how I line it up, if I try to center it just right, I might be able to get a good 4 on that level. So, you know, if I get 3 on the lowest level, that's going to be 10 more on the lower section total, which means I technically should be able to take at least 10 off of the upper level, since it's working better with those than with these full stacks turned on. I think I could take at least, let's say, 2 levels off each stack, drop it down by 16, and then have that would be 20 more on the lower levels. So maybe drop it down 3 stacks, maybe actually get it to where it lines up just above the platform there, and see how that does. All right, so that's gonna be it for this episode of Planet Nomads. I have plenty of experimenting to do, but it is flying, and I was able to get it pretty high up in the air. So it's just, again, polishing up some mechanics and then polishing up some design stuff inside. But the better power setup with all deuterium is definitely going to be a really useful boost for this. But if you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, leave me a comment below, let me know what you think of this, and of course hit subscribe if you haven't done so already. As always, I'm your host, Mr. Spicy. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to keep it spicy this week, and I'll see you in the next video.